Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Said Dan channel. Here's a headline from You Today. XRP shows phenomenal result amid largest weekly funds outflows ever. So let's talk XRP metrics here, because on the XRP front, things are looking pretty positive, including if you're talking about inflows, you're talking about volume, the fact that XRP is underbought, and even price. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, at the moment I'm recording this, XRP is technically down just a hair over the last 24 hours, down 0.43%, but don't forget, over much of the last week, XRP was bucking the trend. While, Bitcoin and broader crypto markets were heading downwards as we got the news about Silvergate Bank, and then since the news is breaking about Silicon Valley Bank, XRP was actually increasing in price. And earlier today, it actually was up by a couple percent. So just kind of depends on when you're looking at it. But right around 37 cents, even in terms of price action, not looking too bad today, all things considered. And yeah, today, I think it's fair to say today's Bitcoin's day. At the time I'm recording this, it's up a little over 9% over the last 24 hours, up above $24,000. Also pretty damn good considering that just a few days ago it was in the 19,000s. So happy to see that as well. But, in terms of inflows and outflows for investment vehicles when it comes to institutional level investing, not looking so hot for Bitcoin. And that's what this first article from You Today was talking about. They pulled some data from CoinShares, and that's what they were writing about here. And here's the CoinShares piece. Here you go, Digital Asset Fund Flows Weekly Report. And this one's a doozy. Check this. Digital asset investment products saw outflows for the 5th consecutive week, totaling $255 million. The largest single weekly outflows on record, representing 1% of total assets under management. Now, I gotta say, that's impressive considering all of the nonsense that we went through in 2022 with the collapse of Luna, and then the contagion spread, you know the story, Three Arrows Capital, Celsius, Voyager, and then we had the FTX collapse and a Ponzi scheme in November of last year. All of that, and what just happened now, resulted in the greatest weekly outflows in history, on record. That's saying something. Now, that is rather fascinating. And we didn't see the most detrimental price action in terms of, take a look at XRP or Bitcoin. We've seen worse movements, but in terms of the flows, it's just fascinating to see that. And then compared to what we're seeing in price, doesn't perfectly align, but still it is what it is. But it's worth reporting. This is where it's very positive for XRP. Again, weekly inflows / outflows for Bitcoin. We're on the outflow side here. Down 243.5 million. So outflows for Bitcoin for the week. And for XRP, it's up. Not a crazy amount, but it's up. Just a few $100,000. But again, Bitcoin's down $243.5 million. So don't mind seeing that for XRP anyway. Not that I want Bitcoin to do bad. I own Bitcoin. I'm pro Bitcoin. I'm optimistic for its future. But just because it's cemented, at this point, it seems, it's been adopted. What can I say? It's like, it doesn't matter what I thought when I jumped into crypto or what I even think now. It's pretty damn clear at this point that Bitcoin, it's highly likely it's here to stay. And frankly, if you consider the fact, I don't want to get I'm going to get on a tangent if I don't shut up now, but I'll just say this. If you could understand that even technologically insufficient cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, layer 1 not so hot, if you understand what layer 2 technologies can do, then if there is already value in the layer 1, then the technological insufficiencies get fixed by layer 2. And the XRP ledger is even fixing that with like spin the bits, for example. So I'm not as much worried about that. It's more like once a standard is set, it's hard to supplant it. So I don't suppose anytime soon Bitcoin's actually going to go away. And I feel more confident about that than I did years ago. If you listen to my channel, literally when I launched it at the end of 2018, I was just being intellectually honest. I was like, I don't know for sure, but I was saying things along the line of I'm skeptical, and I was. But the more I've seen the evolution of crypto and what layer 2 technologies can do, and seeing how Bitcoin just continues to be ingrained in society, it just goes to this point that once a standard is set, it's kind of set and it's very difficult to supplant it. So people like it. It's useful. It just is. And so it is what it is. It's technologically insufficient on layer one. Like, let's be realistic about this. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm digressing a little bit. I want to focus a little bit more on XRP in this video, but whatever, thinking in real time here. And then in terms of volume, take a look at this. XRP sees 112% increase in trading volume as token stays underbought per this metric. XRP's trading volume suddenly jumped 112% according to CoinMarketCap data. The jump in trading volume was not accompanied by a significant price increase, which leads to speculation as to the reason for the sudden rise in volume. So I wanted to take issue with that analysis. It's not that all this volume increased and there wasn't a price increase. In fact, what was normal, if you go back, probably, I don't know if you have to go back a week or what, I'd have to go check the charts, but the point is, at some point, very recent history, it was normal to see like $600 or $700 million in volume for 24-hour volume for XRP. And then at the time we recorded this, here I can pull that up at least. It's a little shy of 1.1 billion for the last 24 hours for XRP. So it's up, but recently it was as high as close to 1.6 billion. So it's up substantially. So like, well, why is it up? Well, it's actually down from its most recent high of close to 1.6 billion, but that's when XRP price was running. And that's why I take issue with their analysis. They say it's up, but we don't see why. The price was running at the time, and then it's come back down a little bit since then. It's a bit higher than 600 and 700 million, but there's also been a lot of activity around crypto in general and equities, given the tumultuous time that we're in and banks collapsing, all that crap. So that part shouldn't be surprising, but check this out. Sentiment's MVRV, which determines the likelihood of future price movement based on the sentiment surrounding an asset at any particular time, indicates that XRP is underbought. According to a recent chart released by on-chain analytics company Sentiment, XRP is in the opportunity zone where prices are more likely to increase. And indeed, this is just how things work. When a bunch of people are buying a bunch of something, it might be overbought, in which case you see a correction and to the downside, price goes down. Right now, what we're seeing is, all things considered, XRP is underbought. What happens when something is underbought? Well, there's this tendency for it to move to the upside. So we'll keep watching this, but we're at the beginning phases in all likelihood of a bull market anyway. And sometimes you don't know the degree to which that's true until you let like a year or two pass, and you can look back and be like, yeah, there was the bottom. But we're probably living it right now. That would be my best guess. And then you've got this also. I want to highlight this. The chart in the middle of your screen here is the number of new XRP accounts activated on the ledger. And it's been interesting because if you go back even to like the end of February, where you're hovering around roughly 1,000 new accounts per day. And there was this spike here. This is an outlier, March 1st. And I made a video where I was talking about this. There were like 4,300 new accounts in a single day created. Still don't know for sure what that was, but that's an outlier incident. But right before that, immediately preceding that, again, about 1,000 per day. And look what we have today. And the day's not over. Today's March 13th, Monday, March 13th. Over 2,000 accounts created, 2,010 at the time that I'm recording this. And even yesterday, 1,942. So there's been a lot of activity around XRP and the XRP ledger. Again, that's why I was stating it's underbought. Volume increases. Inflow's looking good. Price, all things considered, even if it's technically down a hair over the last 24 hours, it's been holding its own, that's for sure. And then you have the number of new accounts activated. I'm just saying, if you look at the XRP metrics here, this is healthy, good stuff here. And then I also wanted to cover this. There is this story from the Crypto Basic. XRP Ledger was first to support stablecoins. Former Ripple director. And it's covering some content from Twitter. And so there's this tweet from somebody named Joe, not sure who this is. And then Matt Hamilton, former Ripple employee, that's who was referenced in the article from the Crypto Basic, he ended up retweeting that. So let me share with you the tweet from this guy named Joe, not sure who Joe is, but he's talking about how it seems like people, and it's easy to understand why people don't look at things quite this way, but when you deposit money at a bank, effectively you're loaning money to the bank because the bank takes your money and then they also loan it out to others. So like you'll see in your account you have X number of dollars and it's not all there in the bank. It's like, so if just you want to come and have a withdrawal, yeah, you can probably get it. You can probably take all of it out. But if every one of the bank's customers at the same time wanted to come get it, they couldn't because it's not there, because it's been loaned out. They loan out your money. That's how this all works here. And people don't quite look at it like that frequently. They look at their account balance. Maybe they're logging in their account online. They see the number there and they're like, oh yeah, that's my money. It's right there. Is it though? In theory, in theory it is. And so Joe is kind of getting to this point. He said, in part, nobody thinks of their bank account as a loan to the bank. And then suddenly a bank fails and all the experts come out and talk about the depositors as creditors. It's problematic the way the economic nature of the bank/depositor relationship is abstracted this way. Yeah, and I get what he's talking about. It's the way of looking at it. And if people looked at things a little bit differently, they might have a whole new outlook on things. And so Matt Hamilton read that, and it made a former Ripple employee, Matt Hamilton, made him think about how people are perceiving the XRP ledger's built-in decentralized exchange, effectively, where you can issue new cryptocurrencies. You can issue stablecoins. You can issue IOUs. And an IOU is a new coin. It's just the terminology was different back in the day when the XRP ledger was created. Because the XRP ledger is the world's, it has the world's first decentralized exchange built into it, where you can issue assets on it. First in history. And way ahead of its time, frankly. Such that even the terminology back then that's used today to describe what it does, it didn't exist, and so different terms were used. And Matt Hamilton gets at that. So here's Matt Hamilton shared that tweet from this guy named Joe, and he wrote the following: actually, this is quite an interesting point in relation to the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger was the first blockchain to support what we now refer to as stablecoins. On the XRP ledger, they were referred to as IOUs. IOUs require you to explicitly set how much you trust the counterparty, as that is what you are doing. If I hold 1,000 USDC, then I am trusting that Circle will pay me back $1,000 on demand. I am lending them $1,000 in return for 1,000 USDC tokens. Yeah, and so I'll pause to note here, I don't recall off the top of my head if Circle issued USDC on the XRP ledger. I'm not aware of that, so he might just be using that as a hypothetical, or they did, and I'm just unaware, and that's fine. I don't pretend to know everything. I do know that USDC was issued on the Stellar blockchain, Stellar Lumens, XLM, and so the same concept would apply there. It's very similar technology. I mean, because obviously, Stellar Lumens, it's a copycat of the XRP ledger. That's Jed McCaleb took the XRP ledger, copied it, made some changes, and then that's what it became anyway. So it's practically the same thing. And so again, he says, if I hold 1,000 USDC, then I am trusting that Circle will pay me back $1,000 on demand. I am lending them $1,000 in return for 1,000 USDC tokens. Along came Ethereum, and this all got abstracted away. People referred to these things as stablecoins and started to view them as assets in their own right, not as IOUs for other assets. So you can see why I started talking about this. Just like when you think about your money in your bank account, you don't think it as you loaned your money to the bank. Similarly here, if you have, an IOU on the XRP ledger, and then they give you these USDC coins, you've loaned your real money to Circle, and you should be able to get it back. So conceptually, you can see it's very similar here. But as Hamilton said, the concept gets abstracted away. It's its own asset. Just like your bank account is just your money. That's the way that people look at it here. But that kind of doesn't do the situation justice. So I don't mind that we keep referring to it as stable coins or this is my money in my banking account, so long as people understand the concepts that underlie them. That's more so what I'm getting at. I think that's kind of the broader point that Matt Hamilton was making. And I think it's an interesting point. But I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon family, Sadan.